Hello. So today I wanted to share some ideas and suggestions for small group teaching or whole group teaching distance learning for math. For myself, I have been using McGraw-Hill. Our school purchases this, so it's available to us. I am sure there are other platforms that provide the same type of content. And for a lot of times, I will find something that I like, maybe on Teachers Pay Teachers, and share the screen. What I like to use really is this manipulatives, this electronic manipulatives. If I find it fun, the students seem to be engaged. I can still teach my lessons, but they seem to enjoy the electronic devices on here. So what I was starting to teach when we were distance learning, one of the things was repeated addition and groups and skip counting. So I chose to start with using number cubes. So we talked about how we were going to use number cubes to understand about different groups. So I use the multiplication symbol, but mostly so that they can get used to it and understand that this represents the number and then of groups of, and this is the equal groups. So what we do on here, you actually can roll the dice. So the kids had a lot of fun. I had them on the side of the screen pretending to roll the dice with me like this. And so as you can see, we did it this way. So we would say 4 groups of 6. 4 groups of 6. So the first time I did this activity, I wanted to do it with something fun. So I found some sort of online number cubes, or there are little bears on here. So I've said that there are going to be 4 different groups. So I'll have one group of each color bear. So we talked about how this first number is 4 groups, and then in each group there are 6. So we talked about doing that. So then the first thing we did was I sat and I put 6 in each group. We talked about how we can skip count, how we can count the total of each one. And then eventually we went ahead and even used the text tool to represent 4 groups of 6 using repeated addition. 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. And the great thing about this tool was once I did some modeling, just like I would have in the classroom, and we went over it together, I gave them the option to use the chat feature. This is really a great tool when doing a small group or whole group distance learning. What I found is it really gives me an informal way to check on the individual students' ability levels and if they're grasping what I'm doing in a group. So once we went over this concept, I would have them type the answer to me. I made sure to mark it as host only, so the students aren't embarrassed. No one else gets to see their answers. They know that it only goes to the teacher. So I make sure they're aware of that. And then I also give them the option, I remind them that this is a learning experience. So if you don't know, you can type, I don't know. And that's when I get the opportunity, if I see a lot of students doing that, I'll reteach and remodel. If it's just one particular student, I'll try and use a new type of tool. Maybe I need to draw it all out or find a different, simpler problem. But it really gives me an idea if the whole group is ready to move on or if this concept is too challenging for them. This can be done with anything that you're doing. On almost any platform, you can find different manipulatives. If I get rid of these, this one, if you're doing fractions or geometry, you can do the tools on there. I found that the students really enjoy that. It's something that we haven't done in class very often. We do a lot more hands-on things, so it keeps their attention. And then the use of the group chat reminds them that I am checking on them. I'm here to make sure they understand. One of the other tools that's great is if you're doing time, then they have a clock that you can use. I also did a lesson on money. So I would put certain groups of money up on the screen, and then I had the students write to me what they think the total was. And again, if you're choosing to do in small groups like I was, I'm able to use more manipulatives and slower time with my students who really need the help. And then with my students that grasp the concepts fairly quickly, I was able to do more critical thinking challenges. Sometimes I just come up those off the cuff, but a lot of times I search for those on Teachers Pay Teachers. And I just type in critical thinking currency or critical thinking time. And they have a lot of great things that are a little bit more of brain teasers where they're still learning the same concept, but they're doing it at a higher order thinking skills. Okay, so this is just one way that I choose to do my small group math lessons and keep the students engaged and learning. Thanks.